I'm Denise Stevens. Right now I wanted to introduce to you my granddaughter, Natane Tom. She's a member of the Choctaw Nation, and she will tell you a little bit more about the Choctaw Nation, its history, and she will right now make a Choctaw language speech for you and then translate it afterwards.
Okay. Halito, Chimachikama, Soho Chifiyat Natane Tom, Stillwater, Minnesota, Amintili, Makuyat, James Tom Jr., Ishkiyat, Joanna Tom, Infoyat, James Tom Sr., Chatasia, Yakoke. Hello, how are you? My name is Natane Tom. I am in 5th grade in Stillwater, Minnesota. My parents are James and Joanna Tom. My grandfather is James Tom Sr. I'm a proud member of the Choctaw Nation of Oklahoma and Mississippi Choctaw. Thank you.
Thank you, Natane. Could you tell us a little bit about the Mississippi Choctaw people?
The Choctaw. The Indian Removal Act of 1830, signed by President Andrew Jackson, the Choctaw were the first to be removed by military force and it began in the winter of 1831. About 17,000 Choctaw made the move, and between 2,500 and 6,000 died on the route. And then the Trail of Tears went from Mississippi to Indian Territory, which is Oklahoma. So.
Okay. And after they moved to Oklahoma, Natane, were many of the Native Americans allowed to continue their traditions after the Trail of Tears?
Many Native Americans continued their traditions, especially dancing, but then they were eventually banned by the government.
And I think this is a quote that we found from an article about Wounded Knee. Natane, you're going to read this for the people who are unable to see that.
Okay. Dance, a significant aspect of Native cultural expression, has always played a vital role in both utilitarian and religious ceremony. In the Push West, in the years after the Civil War, however, Americans viewed Indian dancing as a threat. Fearing an orchestrated Indian uprising by the 1870s, both the U.S. and Canada had enacted laws banning the performance of cultural or religious rituals, including dancing.
So my understanding is that Native Americans have only recently been able to revive the tradition of publicly dancing, especially powwows. So Natane, why is it so important for you to be able to dance in powwows?
It's really important for me to be able to dance in powwows because I dance for people who can't dance for themselves. And people who can't dance for themselves are people who don't have the time to learn the culture, or they aren't able to dance physically. So, yeah.
So now we would like to have Natane be on the screen, Wayne, and describe her regalia, and then she will do a little dance for the people who are watching. She will demonstrate a dance. So describe your regalia first.
So, I'm going to go from top to bottom, and starting at the top, I have my eagle feather, and it is in honor of my father, who's a fully disabled veteran, and only Native Americans can have eagle feathers, so it's like very prized and special if you have one. And can you get the part today?
Yes.
Okay, and then the part of my hair is supposed to represent the Trail of Tears, which my ancestors had to walk. So, you see that? Here, I'm going to do that here.
And just need to real quick explain the crown, and then you can pass it around to this class that's here.
So my crown, it has like
My name is Ashley Watt at the University of Minnesota Morris, Circle of Nations Indigenous Association powwow. And she represents that powwow as an outstanding member of the community and the ideals of what Native youth are supposed to be. Okay, keep going.
So part of are supposed to represent Trail of Tears. Like the zigzag part in your hair. And then my hair wraps are supposed to represent the Cherokee Rose. And for each teardrop that fell on the Trail of Tears, a Cherokee Rose grew. So that's the story behind that. And I also have it on my yoke. See that? And then I already explained my otter, and his name is Slipface. And it's supposed to show the wealth of my family. So, story behind that. And then my dress itself was given to me as a birthday present from my grandmother. She made it. So, yeah. Yeah, I forgot to say my choker. So my choker, it's supposed to protect me if anyone tries to stab me in the throat. And then my moccasin, on my right foot, I have a rattlesnake. And it's supposed to represent good healing and medicine. And I just found this out last night, but my parents did that on purpose because I always dance with my left foot in the air. And then the rattlesnake stays on the ground because it doesn't have wings and it can't fly. And then on my left foot, I have a crow. So, yeah. It's my spirit animal because my parents say I never stop talking. And then my boots, they are made out of brain tan leather, and my dad did the leather, and then my mom did all the beading. So, and there's a difference between the brain tan leather and the leather you get at Michael's. Brain tan leather, it's mostly hand done. And you use the brains of the animal, or like eggs, something, to like, you explain the process.
No, that's okay. That's a whole separate topic, brain tan.
It's a different topic for another day.
So would you like to demonstrate a dance for your colleagues?
Okay.
Natane, Mr. Wayne's phone, that's the microphone.
Okay. Hi. So, I'm gonna be doing a dance for you guys. So, yeah.
Oh, do you want to explain your shawl or the dance style?
Oh, I forgot about that. So my shawl, it has crows on it. So, you see that? And then the dance style I'm going to be doing today is called Fancy Shawl, and it's supposed to represent like a butterfly or bird. So,
It's very fast, very active.
yeah.
Most athletic of the lady styles.
Sushi.
This is my
Let me
favorite
know when-
style.
Let me know
That's
when
the
you,
song.
let me know when you're ready.
Okay, I'm ready.
What the Trail of Tears is, the federal government under Andrew Jackson issued an order to relocate all of the Native Americans from east of the Mississippi River to west of the Mississippi River. So thousands of Native Americans were forced to travel by foot or by boat or any way they could go, take all of their possessions and their families and physically move thousands of people hundreds and hundreds of miles across the river to be relocated in lands that they were unfamiliar with. So many of them, including Natane's ancestors, ended up in Oklahoma, which was part of the Indian Territory set aside for those people at that time. And there were many nations that went. The Choctaw Nation of Mississippi, that Natane is part of, was one of the nations that moved there. And unfortunately, many of the Native Americans, when they were relocated, many of them died along the Trail of Tears or got very sick and lost their members of their family due to illness and to exhaustion and starvation. And so that's why they call it the Trail of Tears, because it was so painful and so sad for everyone who had to do it.
Mr. Young asked a question on Nearpod. Is it easy to learn the dances? And is it easy to learn the dance?
You don't have to go to like a class to go learn how to dance. Everyone's welcome at a powwow. And like, I picked up most of my moves from watching other dancers. And it's not like a choreographed dance. Like, you just make it up as long as you go. So, yeah.
How much do you love dancing? That's another question that came in Nearpod.
I think dance is very important to me because I've been dancing for most of my life.
Catherine asked a question, do dancers have a different outfit for every dance?
Like, for each style of dance, like fancy shawl, it's like you have the shawl and then you have your dress, and that's like, it's like the standard cutout. But every dancer has a different dress, and for each different style you do, you would usually have a different dress for each style. So.
All right, let's segue next to an interview.
Right. That's a good segue for this because Natane was going to talk about some of the different styles of dance, and she also has some more videos and a demonstration that she can show you about the different styles of dance. So, and then she has a question for you too.
I do?
Yeah, you do eventually. So, Natane, my understanding is that many of your ancestors made clothing from animal hides like deer, buffalo, elk, bear, and other wild animals. So we wanted to ask you a question. The people on the video conference, do you think Native Americans today still wear clothing made from animal hides? And can they answer on their...
Oh, I can set that up. And maybe while I set that up, we can do another part of the interview. Should we sit over here for a second?
Sure.
Hey, you own this room, so what do you think? Let's have you just take a look at this question. Thumbs up for yes. Thumbs down for no. In the middle for maybe, or I'm not sure. Yes and no, depends on what they like.
Nice board.
While we're waiting too, maybe, I think we need to give Natane a round of applause. What do you say?
And you have a slide with the answer after they respond.
Natane is pretty tiring, isn't it?
The answers are coming into this question right now, and I'll stop the polling in just a second here. All right, for the people who responded, we had 4 students 5 students say no, and we had about 15 that said yes.
Okay. Here's the answer.
Yes, we do. In addition to hides used for shirts, pants, dresses, and moccasins, we use furs and hides from beaver, otter, porcupine, bear, badgers, and even turtle shells.
The question was asked earlier about traditional style, so can you talk a little bit about this style, just a sentence or two?
Yeah, so the traditional style is it's like the original style of the women's. And it's like very slow and elegant. I'm doing Southern style, but there's also the Northern style. And the Southern style, there's like slight differences. Southern style, you have your breastplate in front and the back, and only Northern style, you have it just in the front.
Why don't you just describe a couple things Miss Squaw is wearing in this picture?
So he has on bear claws right here, and they can't really see it, but he does have like deer legs around his arms, deer armbands.
About his roach.
His roach, it's made out of porcupine and deer tail.
And who is this one? They'll meet him later, won't they?
They will?
Yeah.
He'll be coming to the History Center
Oh,
and the Minneapolis Institute of Arts
okay.
to work with the students.
So, Miss Squaw, he's a dancer, and at this powwow, I don't even remember when this was taken, but he was the head dancer there, the University of Minnesota. So,
And we're going to show just a few minutes or seconds of a video. This is another style of traditional dancing where the person wears an actual bear hide.
here.
That's another style of traditional dance, and you don't see it very often. It's a very old dance that has just recently been revived at some of the powwows. And just a few people have been doing it. It's pretty spectacular to be able to revive that tradition after all this time. So we're going to talk a little bit for the last few minutes here about another style of dance. Natane, would you like to pick that up and shake it? So we're going to talk a little bit for the last few minutes here about another style of dance. Natane, would you like to pick that up and shake it? Natane is going to shake it. So does anyone know? Can you guess what made that sound? Maybe as Wayne gets the responses back from the other classes, maybe these folks would want to.
Well, they all just saw what
Do
it
they want to
was.
Just raise their hand. What do you think made that jingly sound? You want to call on
Well, we
hands?
can see.
Barrett.
How about,
Oh, no.
and do you know what the name of the dance is that goes with that dress? I bet Mason knows, but
That's Jesus.
it's a jingle dress. Have others of you seen a jingle dance before?
Could I ask what the bells are made out of?
The bells are made out of,
Here, why don't you carry it over to the other?
Traditionally, maybe what are they?
traditionally, they were made out of the lids of the snuff cans that the Indians were able to get from the traders. And Native Americans use everything that they have. They try not to waste anything because it's precious to them, because all of the metals and the shells and the skins and the hides they use, they all came from Mother Earth. So they started using the lids of the snuff cans and curling them into cones, and that's what makes the sound on the jingle dress. It's really not jingles like you see it on a sleigh or at Christmas time. It was really cool, and when we put together, that's what it was.
Wow.
I know, freaking stuff.
I don't want to.
So, did you have something you wanted? Somebody said they were doing evaluations.
Once you've had a chance to see the jingle dress, we're going to let you head off to specialists. Wait till Natane walks by. You can take a look. You can take a little feel if that's okay, Natane.
Yeah.
What even are stuff?
Is that your dress, Tommy? Yeah.
Now we're going to do a final evaluation here, and we're going to produce an open-ended question here for our audience. And the question here, I'll send it to you in just a second. The question I'm sending to those of you who are following this webinar is, what did you think of this presentation today? And you can include in that, if you wish to, any other questions that you have as well. And we're waiting right now to view the responses as they come in. And while we're waiting here, is there anything else that you would like to share with the audience?
Not really.
Okay.
Oh, why don't you share your dad with the audience?
Okay.
Could I share something? As the kids were leaving, they said, everything you're wearing looks like it was really hard to make and took a lot of time.
Yeah.
Can you maybe comment on that?
It did take a lot of time. My traditional dress, that took 1.5 years to make, and all the fringes were hand done by my dad. He's over there.
So someone had asked if people have multiple outfits that they dance in. Most dancers will have maybe one main outfit and then have different beadwork that they'll add to it, or different accessories to add to it. But because the outfits take so long to make, people don't usually have multiple outfits unless they're fully grown, and then
Or
Or
they're
constant, yeah, unless they don't, grow 10 inches in a year and outgrow their dress, so,
or unless they're a contest dancer.
yeah.
And Tanya, could you share with them the importance of the word regalia and what that means?
The word regalia is to describe what I'm wearing, and it's not a costume because costume is something you wear when you dress up. I'm not dressing up as an Indian. I am actually an Indian, and this is actually part of my culture. So
Good ending there.
Some of the responses that we have back from our audience today, Edna and Josh said it was great. Isaac and Noah, really good job. And swag awesome. And Ella and Priscilla say that was an awesome, cool, fun. And how long is the longest dance you have ever done?
oh, this is gonna be hard.
Grand entry.
Oh yeah, grand entry. Especially at Winnebago. How long did it take? Like 10 minutes?
No, it
Well,
took
that's
like, 30 or 40 minutes. And grand entry is when all the dancers who are dancing at the powwow come into the circle. And so the royalty dances in first, which Natane is royalty, so she enters first. I can turn this. Hi, I'm Joanna. But so Natane would enter first with royalty, and then she has to dance until every dancer is in the circle, and there may be 700 or 800 dancers. So she has to keep dancing until every single dancer has come into the circle. And so that could take 10 minutes, it could take 20 minutes, it could take 45 minutes.
Take 2 hours.
Well, it wouldn't take 2 hours,
But by the way, thank you, Ella and Priscilla, for sending that question. That was a fantastic question. Lucy says, I think the presentation was really cool and informational. Jack and Zach, it was amazing. And Emmanuel David said it was nice. And Catherine, it was fascinating to learn about another culture. Zoe says she's a really good dancer, and I like watching her dance. Does it take a long time to practice the dance?
Like I said before, like I just learned how to do it by going out into the circle and like watching other dancers. That's how I learned. And also watching a whole bunch of YouTube videos that helped me a lot.
Why don't you tell her how long powwows usually last?
Most powwows are like a weekend.
And so you'll start dancing around 1 p.m.
And then some go to like 8, most like stop.
10 or 11 at night.
Yeah, 8 to 11.
And
1 to 11.
Yeah.
Mr. Young says it was cool, but he asked the question, doesn't it hurt when you wear porcupine hide?
Do you want to answer that about the?
But porcupine hide it's actually the guard hair that's on the porcupine, that's on the roach, that, the hair sticks out. It's not the quill. It's actually the guard hair that they call it.
So it's soft hair. This is Natane's dad, by the way, James.
Yeah.
Sydney says, I think that her dancing was very cool. And then Sydney asked the question, do you have more than one dress?
Yep. I have 3.
So explain what they are.
The 2 that I have out today are my fancy shawl dress and my jingle dress, and then the other one you saw in the picture, that is my traditional dress. So.
Charlie says it was awesome, like so awesome. Carl says good, and Gwen says it was awesome. My step grandma is in powwows. Peace out.
Cool.
Cool.
And then Cam says it was cool to watch her dance. And Dahlia also, it was very cool. And I have a question, what's your favorite type of dance?
I like fancy shell the best.
Fancy show?
Yeah, the style of dancing, the style of dance I am dancing today.
What you demonstrated today was that?
Yeah.
Okay. Why so?
I like the fast pace, and it's really fun.
It's kind of a show-off dance.
Yeah.
Donovan says it was very cool to see the dance. Kylie I loved it. It was cool to see the dance and outfit. Lou, it was good. Have a creative dance and like the outfit. Colin also, the dance was very cool. It was awesome. Kirsten, it was cool. Olivia, same thing. And again, the question on many outfits. A lot of kids had questions about that. A lot of comments coming here about awesome and cool. And we'll see if we can find another question on here somewhere. What do men wear? Hunter asked the question, what do the men wear?
The men wear men's traditional grass dance. There's another style, chicken dance, so, and fancy dance.
And more comments about how much they loved it. Isaac says, why are there many tribes?
Each tribe has like a different like belief system, or just like where they're based, and
Different languages,
yeah.
different traditions, different history. So it would be similar to the difference between being French and German, for example. If you're French, that means that you're from France, you speak French, you eat French food. In the same way, if you're Choctaw, that means you'd be from the Choctaw Nation, you speak Choctaw, and you have similar practices to Choctaw. Actually, lacrosse is based on stickball, which was originally a Choctaw game. So some of the things, a lot of the things, the word Oklahoma is a Choctaw word. So it's still present in the America today.
Judah said, I liked the history parts. And Ryan asked the question, it was fun. I think we should do this more often. And how old were you when you did your first dance?
It was a year after kindergarten, so I was like 6. So I've been
6 years
dancing
old.
for like 5 years.
Okay.
Nearly 5.
Well, thank you very much for sharing this with all of us today. And I think that all of us are looking forward to the next phase of this collaboration that we have going with multiple classrooms. And thank you for taking your time, all of you, for sharing this very important part of culture with us. And I think we will end this broadcast at this time, and we'll see everyone again at our next event.
Thank
Right.
you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Yoko
Thanks
Kay.
for having me. Yako Gay.